Mr. Carlos Jay.
Mm. Yes, sir.
Mr. Carlos Emeka
Mm.
Jay. What an honor.
Mr. Daniel
What an honor.
Obami Pobi.
What an honor. It's
Oh,
exciting to have you again. And so once
mm.
again, you are welcome to our platform. This is Highcat's platform, where we look at the leadership journey, and we are privileged to have part two of your session. So I was just trying to recap some of the things, and I wrote about three different things here.
Okay.
The problem solving skills. I noted that already in our previous interview, and the fact that your work speaks for itself. There is always that incident when you were talking about your professional life where your work preceded you, your reputation preceded you. And we saw instances where jobs that you did not even apply were called to show up. So your work speaks for itself. And up until now, that is what we can testify. Some of the people who were on also testified about that. And then I also noted your skill at turning around business. Your skill at turning around business, your ability to take something and turn it around. I connect that with what you did at the university for your national service and the fact that you research into something. You will find out, can we do it better? Is there a better way of doing it? Is there a better way of going around this? And you will find a better way. And that is what gives you that skill of turning around, We are in a different system. I'm sure if we were in another system, you would have been going around as CEO and managing director of different companies, in them some turnaround things. You will come in for one year, turn things around, and then you will hand over to someone else. I mean, it's because we are here. We are in Africa, so things work differently.
God. True, true.
I'm sure you won't make any comment on this.
No comment at all. I
I'm
don't
not
want to be in trouble.
surprised. I'm not surprised at all. So how has your day been today, Mr. J?
It's been crazy. I think I even have a slight headache. I don't even know what time I woke up. Okay, so we were from an all night, so we didn't sleep. Okay, so I
Uh-huh.
came home this morning. I got home after 5. I think it was almost 6-ish. And I really couldn't sleep because I had a 9 o'clock engagement.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to I had to go in very late. Yes. And then from there, I quickly had to rush to the conference center to do one or two things. And then a friend of mine had lost a sister, so I rushed to Labadi from there. And then from Labadi, I came straight to the office. Yeah. So it's been a bit tight and very stressful. Yeah, very stressful.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
The crown.
It doesn't come easy.
Yeah, but it makes me miss. I mean, I always say this. It makes me miss COVID days too much.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
miss
these are some of
COVID
the things I just.
days.
Oh yeah. Lockdown was good. It was good for him. It was good for a reset. We had to reset, and it was very good.
Yeah. So today we'll be going straight into leadership. We'll be talking more of your own concept of leadership.
Yeah.
You've led in various places. I have experienced your leadership. I'm still experiencing your leadership at church. For those who don't know, this is my PPC chairman. So he's a PPC chairman of my local church, St. Benedict of Anchor. And as I tell people, that is where God is, So we bring you greetings from where God lives. And so, Chief, what is your concept of leadership?
Um, I believe leadership is about promoting lives. I mean, I like to define it simply as that, promoting lives. I mean, I believe that, I mean, once you are put into the position to lead people, I mean, it's not about you being the head of anything. I mean, it's purely about promoting lives, you know, because I believe we are all born leaders, right? But some are able to actually impact others in very, very important ways than others. Okay, so you look at somebody who is actually under your leadership, and you're asking questions like, what is the next level for the person? What's the next phase for the person? I mean, how is the person benefiting from being around you? You know, that is where I feel the impact should be most felt. So that given the opportunity, the person would always want to come back to be with you, because he may not probably find that quality around somebody else that he or she moves on to be with. Yeah. So I believe leadership is about promoting the lives of somebody. Once you're able to move somebody from this point to the next point, then I believe you have actually led the person. Yeah. If you are with the person and the person is still stagnating or is where the person is, then I'm sorry, by my definition, you haven't been a leader. Yeah, that's what I stand for, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You know, the question I'm asking myself now in the workplace, why should I bother? Why should I bother? If someone is a grown-up, they are able to manage their own affairs. Why should I be so interested in promoting someone?
You see, because
raising someone's level.
Yeah, I came to, okay, so there's a little background to this, how I even got into all this thinking, actually. So I used to work somewhere, because of the nature of what I'm going to say, permit me to withhold the name of the place that I work. But I realized that even though I rose through the ranks, I mean, I just came in as, let me say, normal client service executive, but rose through the ranks to become head of operations over there. And I was more like this 2IC of the MD over there at that time. I realized that the person didn't really care much about the people who worked for them. So there were always negative comments. And because I had like gone through the ranks, I could vibe well with the people, and you could always feel the negative energy, you know. And I realized that was translating into how much the people gave. Even though they gave the business they are all, let's say they are 60% and they are 70%, you could really see that they were prepared. I mean, in their corners, when they are conversing, you could tell that they were ready to give in their 100%, if only the leader cared just a little more for them. You know, for instance, you've gone out to do a program. Today is a weekend. I'm here. Those who have found themselves with me in the office, I mean, sometimes I'll go out on my way to go out and buy the food for them myself. I don't even want to just say I'm sorting out your lunch. I want to actually drive out, buy the lunch and bring it to you, you know, for you to know that I appreciate your coming here. You're spending the Saturday with me. You're spending your weekend with me, you know. So those things were not there. Those things were not there. They won't be appreciated. They will break their backs for the company, and nothing happened. So I realized that then it meant that much of what the leader did affected the growth of the company and the position of the company positively. So I picked up cues from that. And then when I happened to actually run things, I said, no, let me do my best to be putting all these things into force. And I had also read a little bit about, I mean, about David and some other leaders, especially Jesus, who was like a servant to all, you know, that kind of servant leadership. I mean, servant leadership has been touted many, many times, but I like to attack it or approach it from that, I mean, slant, where you're actually promoting the lives of the people who are around you. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And you've tried that, and does it yield results?
Most of the time, I realize it yields results. You know, there are very few times that people take advantage of you because of all this and all that. But for most of the time, you know that it yields results, because for some of the people who live, I mean, like you said, I've not lived for long, okay, but I've worked for a while, and I've worked with people who I'm happy to see run their own businesses, and they're like bosses in their businesses are doing well. I mean, it gives me a lot of joy, if for nothing at all. It makes me, sometimes people feel like, why you still talk to this guy? He's a very ungrateful person. Is that? I said, oh, no, it doesn't matter. I mean, the world is a big place. I mean, the sky is the limit for everybody. It's good to have 5 friends who are all rich people. So when you meet, nobody asks you to, Charlie, can I get some 100 C's or can I get some 200 C's? And to you being the only rich person, and you have to like be sorting each of them out. I mean, that's extra stress on you. So it's good to have some of those people. And because at the end of the day, you still get referrals from them once a while.
Yeah.
When the load is too big for them, sometimes they call you in. Just last week, somebody linked us up to a very, very good contract. It was just like a 1-week contract, but the money was like good. And that was purely referral. Somebody I worked with in the past, you know. Yeah, he was so tight, he couldn't do it. And the first person who comes to mind for him to recommend is me. And then he calls me and puts me through with a call with the contractors. And that was it. I mean, so it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. And I tend to focus more on the advantages than the disadvantages of that style of leadership. Yeah.
Wonderful. So if you are joining us, let me just remind you of what we've heard, that for Mr. Carlos Jay, his concept of leadership is promoting human lives. I remember one interview where our guest mentioned that in most places, especially in our part of the world, we don't place a lot of value on human dignity. And here he's emphasizing the fact that if someone comes into your space and you have the opportunity to lead the person, then work at promoting the person's life. And he linked that with servant leadership, such that even when the person has left, you are likely to be in the memory of the person as one that helped the person to go up. Once you work together, it brings a lot of benefits. They will give you, they are all more than 100% most of the time, and you will benefit. As they say, you can choose to promote them and get a benefit, or choose not to promote them, and then the level where they are, you will get that kind of performance in that space. Mr. J, I'm asking, what about leadership styles? Are there some styles that you use? Are there some traits that characterize your leadership style? How do you go about leading other people and leading the people in your space?
Yes, so I mean, like I said, because I've always believed in promoting, I mean, lives and promoting people, and I don't believe in stagnation and keeping somebody there. I remember there was one time I asked somebody that, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I mean, and I don't know whether they wanted to impress us. So they were like, we want to push this company to the best of blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all that they were saying was like geared towards the company. I was like, no, you yourself. From the way that I don't want to see you working here in 5 years. In 5 years, I want you to be big. I want you to be better. Then they realized that no, Charlie, I had flipped the scripts and they had to like reorganize their thoughts and all that, you know. Because because I am so centered on seeing their progress, because I see like I said earlier, I see stagnation as a devilish thing. I mean, permit me to, sorry to use that word. I mean, somebody be with you for so long. I mean, I remember we had a cleaner years back, and I had given him money to go and learn how to drive, so that he could fit into the role of a driver, because I felt that, I mean, he had done the cleaning work for quite a while, and I felt he needed to like upgrade himself and have something he could do with his hands. But you know what? I give this guy just used the money for something else. He never really went to the driving school. And then about 6-8 months later, we got a new driver. So when the driver came, the driver's money was a bit higher than his, and he was sort of bitter about it, you know. But I mean, I made him understand clearly that he got the opportunity too. So I believe that as we aspire to impact and promote the lives of people, we always have to put and present the opportunities before them to actually help them get that promotion. See, so we lay the necessary steps, or I lay the necessary steps before them. If there's a means to upgrade their lives, if there's a need to push them into school by force, like sometimes we practically have to pick them up and put them where they have to be. Somebody comes with a certain skill set, and you want to forcefully make the person add new skills, because sometimes humans are comfortable when they you know, they like the place and it's cool and they're getting all there is to get over there. They don't really want to push it. So we want to like forcefully make you go where you are, or where we want to see you. And that's why it's very important to know how their career goals align with yours, okay? Or how, or where they see themselves in a very near future. You see how best is aligned with your own interest, or as a company. If it's not, you find ways of at least drawing some linkages and finding out how to actually help them become better people. So at the end of the day, you realize that even if the person should leave you in a couple of months or in a year or two, in a very short stay, the person knows that there was definitely some value added, you know, and you've challenged the person to actually be the best version of themselves. So that is more like the style. That is, I mean, I try not to do textbook stuff. Yes,
I mean, once it works, it works.
Yeah,
that's why we are here to learn.
One that works.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
So that's been the style all along. I mean,
so you do more hands-on.
Yes, hands-on. It's purely hands-on. I believe. You see, the thing is that I believe that the approach we have adopted, or the approach I have adopted, is very organic. It flows very naturally. I don't really need to. Fine, yes, once in a while I read here and there to better what I am or better what I do. But I believe it's very spontaneous. It's and very organic. It just flows. Yeah, and that is what we try to do. Yeah.
And when people don't align, what do you do?
That's a hard question, you know, because I've had these challenges. Yeah, I've had people who never really wanted to align. They remained for a while, and next thing you realize is they actually want to back out. But those are very, very few. There are people, you see, I'm in a very tight position here. There are people who have not aligned till date. I know I have people and they're still within the team and they have never aligned.
Okay.
But you know, I inherited a culture from the late Dr. Mensa. And he said that one of the rarest virtues to find is loyalty.
Okay.
So you've had people who have failed to align, but they have been very loyal. And you ask yourself, what do you do with such people? You know, so that's where what the Godfather says comes here. I mean, it comes in handy. I mean, Dr. Mensa will say, in such instances, you keep those people. So they don't align, and they are there. One or two people like that, they don't align, they are there, but they feel because they are getting the money, they are okay, you know. But it's like we can't win. I mean, you can't have a win-win, or you can have you win some, you lose some. Yeah, it's like that. But you try to win as much as possible. Yeah,
and it's not easy to lead.
Yeah, it's not easy to lead. You see, because if you are not careful, these same people now become poisonous. I mean, they become like a cancer in the team.
Yeah.
And they try to
and it can spread.
Yep. Yep, and it can like spread like that. So when you have a very open door policy where anybody could actually walk into your office or walk to you or meet you anywhere, or you could even have lunch with anybody. And when you warm into their hearts with time, some of these things begin to come out and they begin to say certain things. And you never go attacking these people. You never create, you actually give, when that happens, you give more of what you are to those people. So now they themselves become judges of the situation. They weigh themselves. This is what this is the amount of toxicity I'm getting from here, but this is how much love and how much openness I'm getting from here. It's up to myself to weigh it. I've had people who have left and then they call back and they'll be like, look, I felt I was misled. You have to forgive me and all that. And I'm like, oh, I never have anything against you, actually. If you
Did you record
comment,
them?
I will still comment. Oh, yeah.
You record them.
Well, they didn't ask to be recalled, so we don't even go down.
Yeah.
They
So,
never asked to
friends,
be recalled, yeah.
we are getting into Mr. Jay's leadership style and how he goes about leading the people that come into his space. He said for him, it's about improving or promoting their lives, and how he does it is to get in there and try and support as much as possible to help people, try to align their own values and what they care about and what their aspirations are with what is at stake in the organization or whatever project that they are working on. Most of the time it's worked. Most of the time it's worked perfectly, and people have come back to testify. There have been instances of even referrals coming because of how the working relationship was. But there are a few times, and he has told us, there are a few times that some will not align. And it doesn't matter the number of years you will spend, they will still not align. And those instances, he has told us, he will choose loyalty over insisting on the alignment, especially when those people involved are loyal. And where people choose not to align and choose to be cancerous in the whole body, he will try to position himself in such a way that the rest will see a lot of positive, a lot of love, a lot of support, a lot of promotion, and then he will leave the judgment to the others that may be hearing whatever this cancerous individual in quotes is trying to push